Hi! Alright, welcome to or back to my channel, MelCabeyVlogs. Okay, I'm gonna get comfy. Today's video is all about what to expect your freshman year at a BFA. So, number one, I know it was literally just May 1st, which is normally like decision day. So a lot of you have decided what school you're gonna go to, or if you were on a wait list, maybe you just got off that wait list, and you've finally committed to a school. So exciting, congratulations. I am so excited for you guys. It's gonna be a wonderful 4 years, difficult, but wonderful. I do want to start off by saying, I actually, by the end of the college audition process, I wasn't flat out accepted to any schools. And I auditioned for 19 programs. By the end, I was on the wait list for 4 schools. And I was eventually accepted to 2. Luckily, the school that I ended up going to was my favorite from the auditions, and I was so excited to go. So everything worked out. I hope it's working out for you guys. If you have any questions, or if you're about to go through the audition process next year, shoot me a message. I'd love to give you some advice. But let's get into it. So freshman year, I think I'll start off with the simple things. Basically, some people have asked me, like, what do I bring for my freshman year at a BFA program? And really, you don't need to bring too many things different from a normal college student, just like your average college stuff. But of course, you're gonna bring all of your music books, things like that that you have, all of your dance clothes, that good stuff. The only other things that I would suggest bringing with you is investing in a good voice steamer, because you're gonna get tired, you know, running from class to class, singing and acting and doing all of that, and partying on the weekend, you know, as you do in college. So I really like My Pure Mist. So if you want to invest in My Pure Mist, I think that would definitely be useful for your college career. Other than that, I would say maybe bring a foam roller so you can really, you know, recover after a long day of classes. Really, that's it. Just like more self-care items than your average college student I would bring. My mom, I remember, made me a little like first aid kit that was specifically like, you know, for me as a performer. Like, she put some Tiger Balm in there and lots of Band-Aids and pain relieving gel, you know, Advil, stuff like that. So just be prepared for that kind of stuff. Always have it in your bag, and I think you'll be good to go. All right, other than that, so this morning as I was getting ready, thinking about what I'm gonna say in this video, I was like, oh my God, my freshman year was 9 years ago. I cannot believe I'm that old. I can't believe it. So yeah, 9 years ago was my freshman year. And the first thing really that I would say that I didn't expect going into my freshman year, I mean, number one, it's gonna be a huge change. Huge change. A BFA program is very focused and intense, and number one, you're moving away from your family probably for the first time. A lot of you are going to be going really far away. I went to South Carolina from New Jersey. It was like a culture shock. You're going to be meeting lots of new people. You might be roommates with people who aren't theater majors, all of that stuff. It's just different. So get ready for that. Buckle up. When it comes to roommates, I think it really depends on the type of person you are. So I think it is easier if you do live with theater majors. However, you know, just meeting people online and then choosing to room up with them and then being in every single class with them might be difficult. So I think it depends. My freshman year, I had one theater major and then a bunch of other non-theater majors, and there were pros and cons to both. I enjoyed having like an outlet to talk to somebody who wasn't in all of my classes and who didn't know everybody that I knew. That was nice, but then at the same time they didn't understand the type of stress I was going through as a BFA. But my sophomore, junior, senior year, I lived with all the same girls, because after my freshman year, you know, you figure out who your people are within your program. So I was rooming with 3 other theater girls, and it was amazing. We are still absolutely best friends. We still talk all the time. So don't feel stressed about finding who your person is going to be right away freshman year. If you want to just do the random roommate assignments, do it. If you did maybe meet somebody at the audition or orientation who is another BFA, maybe you do want to live with them, but don't feel the pressure of like, this person's going to be my best friend, because you never know. So that's all I'm going to say about that, if you can catch my drift. Okay, moving on. So freshman year, initially, this was my experience, and it also seems like it was a lot of other people from other schools' experience, but you're kind of thrown into this program, and the teachers really, you're a new slate, right? Like, even if you have worked professionally before, or you really think you know what you're doing in this business, it doesn't matter, because you are there to spend 4 years at that institution. So these teachers are really trying to strip you from everything that you thought you knew and kind of build you up, which I personally like, but also I was coming into my program I really didn't know what I was doing. I really didn't know much about anything. I kind of thought I did. So I liked that. Some people might not like that. It depends. But what I will say is you're going to be hearing a lot of things. You're going to be getting a lot of opinions about who you are as a person, who you are as a performer, what you bring into the room. And mainly I would say take everything with a grain of salt. So I remember my freshman year, we had a day in acting class where each student stood up in front of the class and we told them what we thought their type was, or what kind of roles we saw them playing just objectively. And I think for somebody who's kind of green and new to really diving into musical theater or acting, it's good to hear what people expect of you, or just what their judgment is of you. But here's the thing. Don't think, if say you stood up and every single person in the class is like, I see her playing the best friend. She's the supporting character. She is like classic best friend. Great. Then that means probably you are good for those roles. However, that does not mean that you need to hyper focus on only playing those roles, because then you're going to limit yourself and you're going to only think of yourself as that one thing. I think it's important to really realize what kind of roles or what things excite you, and if other people aren't seeing you as those roles, that's okay, and that doesn't mean that you're not going to play those roles. So don't cut yourself short. Don't put yourself in the box that everybody's trying to put you in. And I think freshman year, that's what happens a lot, is like because you are such like a clean slate and people just want to put you somewhere, right? And also sometimes your teachers may be saying different things. Like one teacher is like, no, you're only going to be a chorus girl. But another teacher is like, you're a leading lady. That can get confusing. So again, take everything with a grain of salt. it's really, at the end of the day, not that serious, so don't let it get into your head, and just try to explore everything. That's my main advice, and kind of the thing to like prepare your brain for before going in. Or even like some teachers may, like, for example, I was pegged as the dancer girl, right? And I really thought, okay, and I liked that. I liked being the dancer girl, because it did make me stand out from the rest of my peers. However, I think in my heart, I have always really wanted to be an actor and be looked at as an actor, and I don't think I gave myself the permission to think of myself as an actor throughout my years. And I think that hindered me a little bit. So, you know, that's like an example. And I think maybe if I did think of, because the opportunities I gave myself and went out of my way to get kind of all had to do with dance. But maybe if I really was like, I'm an actor, maybe I would have gone out of my way to get more acting experiences when I was in school. And even if, say, there is something, say you're like, I'm not a dancer, that doesn't mean that you can't leave being a dancer. There were definitely people in my program who came really not dancing very well at all, and they really focused on that, and they were like, I'm gonna be a dancer when I leave, and they did. So although people, your peers, your teachers are gonna try to push you in one direction, know that you can really do anything that you want to do. So again, don't put yourself in that box. It can be helpful sometimes. It can help you find your niche, but you don't only have to be that niche. So remember that. What else happens freshman year? Oh, I think this is another thing to think about. So it depends on what type of program you're going into. My school, Coastal Carolina, we had about, I would say, 10 on average people in the musical theater program per grade. So that's 40 musical theater majors total, which is so small. So in my program, we all got really, really close with every grade, which was awesome. And one thing that I think is another like advice kind of leading up to school is don't be afraid to add the upperclassmen from your school on Instagram or Facebook or wherever. Follow them. If they seem approachable and cool, shoot them a message and be like, hey, what, oh my God, water, hold on. Shoot them a message and be like, hey, what advice do you have for me as a freshman? And they will probably be more than happy to help you. I remember I truly loved helping the underclassmen. That was like one of my favorite things. I also kind of got made fun of a lot for doing that. I just like kind of befriended everyone, but that's just my personality. I freaking love to just like, I don't know, help people and guide people along. So that's my thing. There were other people who that wasn't their thing. So feel out that energy, and go for it. If you see an upperclassman who is like you and somebody that you look up to and you're like, I would love for them to kind of like mentor me or like be that person who can help me, reach out to them and get their guidance. I remember my senior year, there was a girl named Amelia who was a freshman, and she is now one of my very best friends. She came into school, and I remember everybody was like telling her like, oh my God, you're like a mini Mel. You're so much like Mel. And she messaged me on Facebook, I think maybe like the first week of school. She was like, hi Mel, I would love to like sit and chat with you. I think like we're really alike. We're both dancers, blah, blah, blah. And you know, she was just so sweet. And I was like, yes, of course. So we met at the coffee shop on campus, and I remember she just asked me a bunch of questions about freshman year, and I ended up kind of like being her mentor through her freshman year. Like anytime situations came up that were happening that she was confused about or wanted advice on, she came to me, and because I had experienced that with those specific teachers in the same environment, I was really able to help her along. So don't be afraid to find that person for you. A lot of programs actually implement a mentor program, so they'll assign you to somebody older who can help you. So take advantage of that. Get close with that person. Really use that mentorship. And if you don't click with the person that you're assigned with, or like, you know, you're not really that alike in that sense, that's okay. Then reach out to somebody else and befriend them, you know. Don't be scared of the upperclassmen. And if you are in a program where the upperclassmen make you feel scared, or they're like being weird and like elitist, screw them. They suck. Message me. I'm here. Just here's my Instagram. Shoot me a message. I'm trying to think what else freshman year. It can honestly just be overwhelming. A lot of times, this is one thing I struggled with, is at my school, anybody, it was kind of free range. Like anybody could get cast in the main stage productions. My freshman year, I think I was one of 2 people who didn't get cast in the entire season. And that initially, as a freshman, number one, I was homesick. I, you know, was in this new environment. I didn't know what I was doing. And then I wasn't cast, and almost every other freshman was. And, you know, that really made me scared. And I was like, oh my God, I suck. Like, I'm so embarrassed. All of the other students at school are gonna think like I'm not talented. And I think if that happens to you, trust me, it's okay. Like, clearly I've been fine. I ended up getting leads later on in my college career. I have worked professionally. Like, it's good. So don't think it's the end of the world if that happens to you. Take that as another opportunity to grow. So what I did was I was like, all right, all of my other classmates are in rehearsals every day, and that's how they're spending their time. So like, what can I use this time for to grow as well? Because they're growing and learning still in this craft by being in rehearsal, and I'm not given that opportunity. So what I did my freshman year was I taught myself point, and I literally just, because we had studios you could go in, so I just went in the studios and I taught myself point, and I applied to summer programs, and I actually went to ABT's summer intensive that summer. So take those opportunities to continue to grow your craft and improve, and the faculty will also see that and be like, wow, that person is a hard worker. And I think that's the number one thing when you're in this 4-year program, and you know, it's a lot of money. You're not going to experience something like this again. So work hard. Do the best that you can do. Focus on your mental health. I would say everybody, especially freshman year, if there is counselors or therapists on campus, take advantage of that, definitely. I think everybody should be doing that. And, you know, freshman year is a very confusing year. So yeah, go to therapy, work on your mental health, take some you time if you need it, and reach out to the people around you for advice and help. What else? Freshman year. Dang. Just leading up to going to school, I'm like, as I'm sitting here, I'm like remembering that last summer after high school and going into my freshman year at a BFA program, and just how like my life really changed after that year. Like, I really became a new person in the best way. So I would just say get excited, stick to your guns of what you believe in and who you are, and that's another thing. So I'm gonna end this kind of on this topic. There have been a lot of discussions in the theater community, in programs, about diversity, inclusion, not being treated right in programs or just in the professional world. And a lot of us have looked back on our college careers or looked back on past contracts and been like, oh, I should have stuck up for that person when this happened. I should have stuck up for myself when that professor said that to me. Certain situations like that. So I'm going to end this with saying, do not be afraid to stick up for yourself. If you think you're going to get blacklisted, or, oh no, if I stick up to that professor, I'm never going to get cast in one of their shows that they direct, or if I speak out about this, I'm going to get kicked out of the program. In this day and age, it is 2021 and social media exists, and I think people at the top are scared because now the power is really within the students and within the professionals, actors, like in the real world. So your dignity and what you believe in is so much more important than molding yourself to fit into what people want you to be, or it's so much more important than making yourself feel small and accepting any sort of abuse or wrongdoing on you or your peers. So stick up for yourself, stick up for your peers if you see something that isn't right, and really just stay true to yourself, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. So stay strong. Don't be the type of person who is just trying to please everybody around you. Don't do that. Trust me. If you have a personality that is strong, keep it strong. Don't let somebody tell you that you have to, back down. That's like my final advice, because you'll see on the internet right now a lot, like on TikTok and stuff, about certain programs where some professors don't say things that are right. And it's okay to say, hey, when you said that really wasn't right, because you're an adult too. You got to remember that you're all adults. So stay true to yourself and it's going to be fine. As always, message me if you have any questions. If there's anything like in your freshman year while you're at school that you need help on and you don't know who to reach out to, shoot me a message. I'm fine with that. I love to help. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great first year of school, or if you're in school right now and this helped you out a little bit, I hope you have a great rest of your college career. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, please, and let me know what other videos you want to see me make, because I love talking to you guys. All right, bye.